We are here with a very special solo episode. If you guys did not catch my episode with Shaq Daddy, aka James, y'all need to watch that. We cracked up the whole time. We had the greatest time. I really mean, if you're looking for a lot of inspiration, a lot of actual good tips for how to navigate in Atlanta, how to navigate in your business, how to grow in your business, as well as some laughs, that was a great episode. So y'all get on that. Shout out to Shaq Daddy. So today we are talking about something that I think is relevant to everybody, crippling environments. And we're going to talk about how to navigate through those, because we're going to get in them, whether it's a toxic relationship, whether it's your work environment, whether it's your parents. It doesn't matter what it is. You are going to end up in some sort of crippling environment, and you're going to have to get out of it. So I always like to tell stories and then also give y'all practical tips. So that's what we're going to do today. This is basically to help keep your spirit alive, because I know in a crippling environment, that is when you want to quit the most. And I started the show to help you drop the ish and to not quit, because like you guys know, I used to quit every fucking thing. So we're going to stop doing that. And this is how I stopped doing that. I had to realize, one, when I was in a crippling environment. So we're going to talk about that first. And then we're going to talk about how to survive after you realize that, on planning what you need to do to keep yourself mentally and physically okay, because that's another thing. A lot of us let ourselves go in these environments, these toxic relationships, these places. So we need to do that. And then the last thing, we're going to get you out of this. I'm going to get you out of this situation. I'm going to give you real tips to get the fuck out. So, how do you know that you're in a crippling environment? How do you know that you're in a toxic environment? I think we throw those words all around all the time, because we're like, oh, that's so toxic. What does toxic mean? Okay, toxic means that you feel like shit every day. It means when you wake up, you absolutely have no idea where your hope is coming from. If you feel like there's no reason for you to have another day on earth, you're in a crippling environment. It's not you, hun. I promise you, it's not you. It's what you're growing in. Even though roses can grow from concrete, it's very fucking difficult. Okay, everybody doesn't make it out of this phase, all right? And so the reason why is because when you're sitting there, and say you want to be a music artist, and everybody around you says music is stupid and this is the worst thing that you could possibly do for yourself, you're never going to make it out. You're going to start to embody some of these thoughts. You're going to make other people's thoughts your own, which is honestly, that's really how you figure out that you're in a crippling environment. If you believe in your soul that you should be doing something, but everybody around you is telling you you shouldn't, you're in a crippling environment. That's how you know. That's sign number one. That is your biggest red flag, is that when you're like, oh, I want to be a talk show host, and everybody's like, that's not a fucking job. That's the problem. That's the problem. There's plenty of people who are talk show hosts, and the only reason why that they got that is because they surrounded themselves around people who told them that that is possible. Okay? So that's number one. It's the first sign. The second thing is, and a lot of people do this, and I'm sorry, we're going to talk about relationships for a little bit. I know we don't talk about that a lot on this show, but being an entrepreneur, your love life is a part of how well your business goes. It's so true. It really is. If you are sitting there and you have a partner that doesn't really believe in your vision, that's a crippling environment. Because the person that you're wanting to go to tell them about the problems that you're having, to discuss ways that you could possibly get out of it, when you want to talk about, oh, I'm going to divert some of our finances over here, and they're like, what the fuck? Why? To that little hobby of yours? Fuck no, we're not doing that. See, that's a crippling environment. That's another sign that you're in a crippling environment. It's the disbelief. You need to be surrounded around people who believe in what you got going on. And so the other thing is, if you are feeling drained, if it takes your last bit of energy to get up and do the thing that you love, you're in a crippling environment. That's it. You should be happy to get up and do what you do every day. You should be excited. New ideas should be coming to you every second, to the point where you're like, God, I got to write that down because I'm going to miss that one. I've had 6 different new ideas today. That's how you should be. If when you wake up, you're like, I'm not going to film today. That's a crippling environment. Why do you feel like that? Why do you not feel inspired? What about this situation, this place that you're in, doesn't make you want to go out and make some new art, go out and try something new, go out and meet new people, that type of thing? So that's really it. If you aren't feeling creative, you're in a crippling environment. So take that into consideration. The other thing is, I don't know if I want to talk about this one, but it's another thing. So our jobs can be crippling environments. I know a lot of people become entrepreneurs because they hate their job. And what I really want to say about that is, I used to think that, but on this show, y'all need to watch a lot of my guests. They have full-time jobs and they still do their entrepreneur stuff. So that means if you're at a job that doesn't allow you to keep thinking about being an entrepreneur, it's the wrong job for you. That job is a crippling environment. Your job does not have to be so toxic that you never want to act again. It doesn't have to be so draining that you never want to pick up another camera. It should not be so, oh my God, the only thing I want to do is lay on this fucking couch after a day at your job, that you would never do another podcast. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, I used to have a podcast, but then I got a job. That doesn't make any sense. How long does it take you to film a podcast? You have an hour, right? At some point, 5 a.m., 12 midnight, you have time to do this thing that you love, right? So if your job has gotten you to a point where you are like, I mentally could not even imagine myself doing something creative right now, that is your crippling environment. So we're going to talk about a self-assessment. These are 5 questions that you need to ask yourself to understand if you're in a crippling environment. Are we ready for them? Okay, I'm going to turn to this camera because they said this is my focus shot. Right? Okay. Do I feel energized and motivated to do what I love? If the answer is no, it's a crippling environment. All right? Is my well-being being consistently nurtured? That is a really good question, because well-being is everything. If you find yourself eating crap all the time, if you find yourself like literally living in fast food, that's a crippling environment. You are not being your best self. If you can't fathom exercising, you're in a crippling environment. This is what you need to change. Do my values and aspirations align with the values and aspirations of the people around me? If the answer is no, then you're in a crippling environment. And I mean, when I say align, I actually do mean align. I don't mean that they work parallel with each other. That doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. They need to align. You guys need to be going to the same place. Because just because you're parallel, look at a highway. There are 2 different sides to the highway. They are parallel, but some people are going this way and some people are going that way. So that's what I mean. So not parallel, aligned. You guys need to both be on the same side of the road. And then the 4th question is, am I experiencing personal growth and learning? I think this is the biggest notification of whether or not you're in a crippling environment, because if while you were sitting there and you feel like, if you look around and you're like, man, I haven't learned a single thing today, that should be a red flag. You should be learning something new every single day, even if it's the smallest thing of, oh, I learned how to, I don't know, use a new app today, or I learned how to talk to people in a different way today, or I learned how to do my job even better, which is really what it should be. You're in a crippling environment. And the last one is, does this environment allow me to express my true self? If you find yourself, like we were talking about in the last episode, code switching to get into these rooms, this isn't your environment. Who you are is enough. 100% enough. And if somebody's telling you it's not, it's a crippling environment, because they're going to keep telling you that you need to be something else. So let's go to another camera. So for me, this is how I found out that I was in a toxic relationship, and that it was time for me to go. My best friend of, I'm gonna tell my age, like 25 years, right? She came to me and she said, I don't really know who you are anymore. She was like, the girl that I see in front of me is very quiet. She doesn't stick up for herself. She just lets stuff happen. I thought I was fine. I thought I was the same person I had always been. But when your best friend who knows you for real is looking at you like, I don't know who you are, that's a crippling environment. And sometimes you can love somebody or love a space or love the money so much that you will stay and shrink yourself to be in an environment just because you feel like it's the best thing for you. When she said that to me, my eyes kind of opened up. And I started going, am I really that quiet? And then I realized I was literally walking on eggshells in my own house. And then I was like, let me count my words in a day. I really went a whole day and I only said 120 words. That's wild. I need y'all to count your words. You will probably get through 120 words within the first hour, honestly. But I went an entire day with only 120 words. That was because every time I said something, it went against the person's goals. It went against what they wanted for me. It went against what they believed in. So I felt like I couldn't talk anymore. And see, that is where you really, really find out that you're not being yourself. Now I talk all the fucking time. I love having these solo episodes because I get to express who I am. And it's because I was in such a relationship where that was not allowed. If I said, ooh, I'd like to go to the museum. What the fuck is at a museum that you need to see? Can't you see pictures online? That's wild. I can't. It's not the same thing. But you don't really know what type of environment you are in because I told myself, you love this person. So whatever they say is okay. Don't be that. Don't be that. That's something I feel like we don't really give people in their 20s and we don't really tell them is that if you're in a space where you keep shrinking yourself to be with this person, don't be with that person. You should be able to live out loud as you do and have that person be like, I love how they are. I love that they're weird. I love that they like house music. I love that they can't dance. I love that they tell dad jokes. Like whatever it is, that needs to be something that they encourage, something they want to do. So especially when I had a podcast, I started a podcast in 2018. I always talk about this. And I started getting guests from all over the country. I started having people call me. I was getting featured in magazines, and I had to go do a photo shoot. At the photo shoot, he told me that I didn't have enough time for him anymore, and that I should probably stop. And I listened to him. I know. I'm getting the looks. What the fuck? What do you mean I don't have time for you? I'm doing this thing that I really, really wanted to do, and it's going really great, and it's actually getting traction, and you're really trying to tell me, like, we don't have time? You don't have time for me? No, the fuck I don't. But see, I didn't talk like that now because I know me. I know who I am. And the person I'm with now will never say that. They literally say the opposite. They're like, okay, go do some more. You should do more shows. How many more shows can you do? You should do shows at home too. Like, they're encouraging, and that's what you should see. And if you have anybody who shits on your thing that you do like that, where they want you to stop because it's messing with your time with them, that's a crippling environment. And I need y'all to know that because I've lived through it. And so what I want to tell y'all next is how you can survive in that crippling environment until you get out. Because I do understand that sometimes this environment that you're in, one is comfortable. Comfortability is literally the enemy of progress. I need y'all to understand if you feel very comfortable with something and you feel like I could never leave that because, and a lot of times we bring up our money is intertwined. It's really the money. A lot of times people stay in situations because of the money. They'd be like, where the fuck am I going to live? I'm on this lease, or this person is paying for whatever, or I won't have access to these top people in the industry if I don't keep hanging out with them, or whatever it is that you think that you're going to lose in that situation. You can always get it back. I'm going to tell you that. You have to be fully okay with letting something go, and that takes time. Because if I told you to just leave this person, y'all gonna be like, yeah, okay. And I'm gonna see you with that person the next day, and you're probably gonna post like a really sweet post about how they love you and all kinds of shit. So we're gonna talk about what you do in this in-between time, because surviving a crippling environment requires determination. It really does. It requires determination. You're going to have to say, I want to get the fuck out of here. You're going to have to say that every single day, and you're going to have to act like it. So that's going to take some time. I understand that sometimes you're going to be like, it'd be nice to leave. I want you to really get to a point where you're like, nah, I really could never fucking do this again. How do I get out of here? I can't stand one more day. I can't do one more hour in this situation. So for me, I just fucking left. I just did. I had a weird ass situation happen where I finally got away from that person, and I never went back. That was hard. I lost my house. I lost my clothes. I lost, the movers left my entire office. So I didn't have paperwork. I didn't have passports. I didn't have a lot of different things, but I left it. I literally had my uncles come with me and help me get all my stuff into a car. And whatever was in my fucking car was what I took with me to my mom's house. I'm not gonna... And I mean, if that's your way to get out, get the fuck out. Because now I have clothes, I have a passport, I have all these things that I felt like I left. I have them again. I bought a new desk. I don't need that shit. Like, when you really, really think about it, you don't have to stay in that situation. And I got my podcast back. So look, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, whatever you think that you're not going to have by leaving the situation, you will. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some healing. It's going to take some determination and some effort, but you're going to get it back. So the best thing that you could do while you're sitting here in this toxic situation with this person that keeps telling you that it's not a good idea for you to be who you want to be and to do what you want to do, basically you need to take care of yourself. This is when you need to turn inward. This is the time where I think people don't like the word selfish, but it's the only way you're going to get out. If you're in this crippling environment, it's because you feel like some obligation to this environment in some type of way, and your obligation should be to yourself. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to look inside and see what you want and say that you want that every day. And every time you say it and somebody says something to the opposite of it, you need to be like, be quiet. This is what I want to do. And it takes a lot to get to this point. But this is where I'm going to tell you, this is where you set up boundaries. Boundaries are wonderful things that help you say no. So what I did when I left, I was like, what are my boundaries now? Because I didn't fucking have any. And I think it's kind of one of those things is like, when you look, if you have no boundaries, like I really need you to look at your life. If you have no boundaries, somebody's going to take over your life. They will run up and fucking down your entire soul because you don't have a space where you told them they can't go. You told them it's free range in here. You can do whatever you want. Stomp on my heart, take all my money, take advantage of me, use me up, because you never said that it wasn't okay in any aspects of your life. So first things first, I need you to put up boundaries. I need you to really realistically ask yourself, what makes me feel icky? Whatever makes you feel icky is your boundary. If you feel like you give and give and give to a person, but you don't receive anything, that's a boundary. So you need to be like, I will only freely give this much before I expect anything in return. So that is how you set a boundary. You need to figure out what you're going to say no to. No is a beautiful word. It's a gorgeous word. This word is going to keep you from a lot of shit. If you know that you're not going to, I don't know, if you don't drink and you need to say that. You need to say, I don't drink. Every single place. If somebody asks you, that's a no. You need to tell them this is a no. If they push back on your boundary, get the fuck away from that person. Because they don't respect the fact that you have respect for yourself. They don't respect your boundary. People who don't respect your boundary are going to fucking try you all the time. get away from that. That is going to keep you in a crippling environment, because even if you get out of, say, the toxic relationship, or you get out of the bad work environment, or you get out of whatever the thing is that you physically had to run from, if you still have those people around you that are going to push you against your boundaries, hey, why don't we go out drinking? Why don't we go do this? Why don't we go do that? That's going to put you right back into the situation, just with a different face. And that's what you cannot have. If you said that you're going to get out of it, you need to stay out of it, because now you know the signs. Now you know exactly what is not. So for me, I said I'm never dating a man who does not appreciate what I have going on with my podcast. So if you're like, that's a little show, that's a hobby, get the fuck out of here. We're not talking anymore. Please get out of here. I don't care what you think about my show. You need to at least respect it. You need to at least be like, oh yeah, Thursday is your thing. Like, you're building your show right now. Yes, of course. Are you helping? I mean, honestly, I really need you to help me. I need you to be a part of it. I need you to be showing up. I need you to be participating. I need you to be honestly paying for some of it. Let's be real. So yeah, so that is how you guys are gonna get out of these spaces, and how you're gonna stay sane is taking care of you. So do things that you fucking love to do. Why? Because it's for you. And the more you're in these spaces of what you love, the better it's gonna be for you, because now you're filling your heart with joy. You're filling your heart with inspiration. You're going to start being okay. You're going to start, let me do something creative today. Let me check something off my to-do list today, because you're happy. Play your favorite song all the fucking time till it annoys people, like to the point where you're like, look, I have played every Drake song from every album for the past 3 hours, and I still don't give a fuck. I'm happy. So now here I am. I'm writing something down. I'm going to create a new show. I'm going to sit in front of my camera and talk to myself until I get all the words together, until I feel comfortable. So yeah. Because we're running out of time, we're going to skip to how you can get the fuck out, okay? So, because I know that's what everybody is looking for. You need a plan. You need a plan. If you're going to get out of your situation, you can't just say, oh yeah, I want to get out. That determination needs to be, I got to write a plan. I got to start saying, I wouldn't even put a date on it. I would start being like, I need this many shows to get out. I need this many viewers to get out. I need this friend to get out. I need this thing. And I need you to go look for it. Go look for it. That's your plan. You need to actually get out there and find these people. So if you feel like every time you say, I want to be a talk show host, somebody laughs at you, find the person that's not going to laugh at you. Find the person that says, I see that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Hang out with that person. Ask them for coffee. Like, Skype them. I don't know what y'all do nowadays, but you need to talk to this person. That way you get comfortable with saying that, to the point now where if somebody does say, oh, that doesn't make sense, you're like, the fuck are they on? All the people around me are like, oh no, you should definitely do this. So I don't know, you need to go somewhere else. You can't be my friend, because this is what I do. So that's your first actionable step, is to make a plan. These plans can take time if you let them. But like I said, that determination of fuck this, I'm never doing this again, will get you out of a lot of situations. I promise you. We're going to say I don't know how to say this. It's kind of like you have to change your life. You have to change who you are, because there's a reason that this has happened to you. It's a reason. Either you don't believe in yourself enough, so you let other people tell you what you're going to do. It's something internal that's going on with you that you really need to think on. Why do you feel like it's okay for somebody to treat you like shit? That's really the question. I mean, because the only reason why you're in a toxic environment is because you let yourself stay there. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. I mean, some people literally take homelessness over toxicity. That needs to be you. You need to be like, oh my God, like I would never let somebody treat me like this. So you gotta think about it. What is it internally that is letting you allow toxic people in your life, toxic work environments in your life, toxic relationships in your life, whatever it is? Why? What is going on internally where you feel like you deserve that? Because you don't. You definitely do not deserve to be shit on, okay? So if it's happening to you, it's because you said it's okay for somebody to shit on you. That's not all right. What she say? If you sit in shit long enough, you smell like it and you don't even know. It's something like that, but that's real. Like, if you really sit in shit, you become shit. Like, that's just what it is. And you become something that nobody wants to be a part of. You become something that, you become this person. You become the person who you feel like is crippling you. You actually end up turning into them because you let their thoughts become yours. You let their actions become yours. You end up in a terrible, terrible space. So what I'm always going to ask you guys is, if you are in a crippling environment, please look inside. Please ask yourself why you feel like it's okay to stay there. And I guarantee you, fuck the money. Like, I'm so serious. You will find other money opportunities. Honestly, what happened for me was, like, as soon as I decided to leave, it was like all the doors opened. Every door that I had prayed for just opened immediately, because I had finally said that I was good enough to have these doors open up for me. It took some time. It took a lot of crying days. It really did. But I finally got to a point where it was like, I actually deserve to be treated well. And that's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful space for people to be in. So then after that, I'm going to say, you guys need to find a mentor, and not somebody online, okay? I need y'all to find a real mentor. Let's not all go to Andrew Tate to figure out how we're going to be a better macho-er man, okay? Let's not do that. Let's actually go find somebody who is actually going to give you advice about your life. A lot of times, especially on this podcast, I'm speaking to a general public. Right? I might resonate here and there, but I really don't know what's going on with you, right? So I can't give you super personal advice because I don't know what's going on. Now, if you talk to me on a one-on-one session, it's going to be completely different information. I promise you I'm going to keep the same energy, but we're going to talk about what you could do in your actual life to move things along. That is what a mentor is for. So how do you find a mentor? I don't want to say find somebody you want to be like, but find somebody that has boundaries. Find somebody who is living, who knows how to say no. Find somebody who you're like, I loved how you handled that situation. You didn't let nobody walk over you. Okay, talk to them. Be like, hey, how'd you end up like this? What's up? What do you do? Who's around you that keeps you like this? Like, what about yourself do you say to yourself that allows you to be maybe not aggressive, but stand up for yourself in these situations? Find that person. I guarantee you they're going to talk to you. You will find somebody that you align with. It might not be everybody. I'm not going to say everybody doesn't want to be a mentor, but you will find somebody who does want to be a mentor eventually. Again, this is where the determination comes from, because you are going to knock on some doors and some of them will never budge open even a little bit, and that's okay. Go to another door. It's all right. There's a lot of doors out there. But that determination and this plan of you finding this person is going to get you out of here. And then the last thing that I'm going to say is cherish your relationships that are healthy. Somewhere in your life, you have somebody who is on your side. That's the person that you need to hang out with. That's your bossy. That's your person that you need. That's the person that's going to keep telling you, go be a talk show host. They're going to keep being like, look, I have this opportunity for you. They're going to keep pushing you. They're going to keep, when you have a cry day, they're going to tell you there's no reason for that. You got this. Try again. Did you try this? Go on your YouTube. Let's talk about it. Like, they're going to push you more towards your craft. And that's who you need to be by. And so by cherish, I mean, listen to that person as well. I know I said be selfish, but there's a way that you can be selfish and kind at the same time. If they have something going on, support them. That's going to help you see what it's like to have somebody support you so that you understand what you want in return. Relationships are the best place for you to learn, honestly. And once it gets reciprocal, and once you have this very healthy relationship where everything is like, I could do something for that person and I know it will be returns, that's all you're going to accept in your life. You're only going to have that type of stuff in your life. You're only going to keep seeing more people like that in your life. So, yeah, we're just about at time. I did great. Yay! So thank you guys so much for watching Entrepreneurish. If you're in a crippling situation, you're in a toxic environment, I need you guys to go to @entrepreneur.ish on podcasts, at entrepreneur.ish.podcast on Instagram, and I need you guys to DM me. What I do is I have a Boss Bestie Matchmaker program, and I connect people with their bosties. I help you guys get out of these situations that you're in, because I know exactly what it's like to be in a terrible situation, and I know exactly what it's like to be in a wonderful situation. And I know I only got there by having bosties. I only got there by finding people who enjoyed what I did and encouraged me to do more of it. So right now, I am matching people to their bosties. That is what I do. I help you find the person that is going to encourage you every day to get up and make more soaps, make more videos, make more t-shirts, do more content. These people are here. Atlanta is a wonderful, friendly place once you get rid of the snakes, all right? Like, once you know how to navigate through that, people really do want to help you. And the only way that you're going to find them is by honestly being optimistic about it and also having somebody help you. I'm an Atlanta native, so I can tell you when somebody being real fake real fast. And I would not even put you in a situation like that, because I understand who you are and what you're looking for. So this saves you time. It keeps you safe. I'm not sending you to no apartments in the back alley. We're not doing that. I also set up the meetups that you guys have. And a lot of times it's with other people, so that you guys don't feel awkward meeting this new person. You're out and about. You're playing games. You're doing something that really helps you understand who this person is. So go to @entrepreneur.ish.podcast or to @bossbestiematchmaker if you are interested in that program. And again, thank you so much to Live Hip Hop Daily for having me each and every Thursday at 7. And shout out to Creative Visions for their wonderful production. And we will see you guys next time. Bye. We out.